10 games left in the regular season for FC Cincinnati 2 and New England Revolution 2. With each match, the playoff picture looms larger and larger, amplifying the implications with every passing day. FC Cincinnati 2 currently have the mission of reaping reward for good work. The pieces and effort are coming through in training. Now they want to see that translate into a result after dropping 2 straight. For Revs 2, they'll be thinking about this game while feeling the last one. A Thursday to Sunday turnaround with travel in between means lots of rotation and perseverance for those that carry over into this match from the last one. Welcome one and all to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenster. Excited to be broadcasting this one for you here, whether it be on YouTube or OneFootball. Here are your starting 11s. First off, for FC Cincinnati 2, 4 changes from their game last week. Christian Fletcher once again getting a start up top as they're working to get him back into game fitness. Also, the 2 center backs being changed for this game, Noah Gasson and LJ Bourne, the 16-year-old academy kid, just his 3rd ever MLS Next Pro appearance, this being his 1st ever start. And although there is some youth at that spot at center back, there are 6 first-teamers in this starting 11 for Sammy Castellanos. So, although you may have some young guys out there, you also have some players with a lot of talent and a bit of experience as well, including that dynamic up top between Shaywu Niang and Christian Fletcher. Going to be a very dangerous duo in the attack. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, for New England Revolution 2, this is what Pablo Morea will be trotting out. Lots of changes, 5 of them to be precise, from their Thursday fixture in the morning against NYCFC 2. J.D. Gunn getting back in goal for the 5th time this season. They're also going to be running the 3 back again, which is something they did on Thursday. They're giving it another run here. It'll be the same front 3 of Jean-Baptiste, Morgan, and Zambrano. Meanwhile, worth a shout out to Logan Azar, whom is in the starting 11 once again here. And worth noting, he has been selected to the MLS Next All-Star game, which is happening tomorrow in Matthews, North Carolina. So getting to play again in the professional ranks before making his way down there to enjoy some of the fruits of his labor in that honor. So that is where these 2 teams stand going into this match as far as their lineups. This is the 3rd meeting this season between these 2 sides, and the first 2 matches were real tight. Back in March, Revs 2 won that game in the 87th minute, just a minute after FC Cincinnati 2 had equalized. 2-1 your final score in that game. And then in June, so about a month and a half ago, June 7th, here at the same venue, it was a victory in the 97th minute. A goal from Carlos Zambrano, who's in the starting lineup once again for New England Revolution 2, in a match that saw 2 red cards for FC Cincinnati 2, so they nearly were able to hang on and see that to the end with 9 players on the pitch. But in both occasions, New England able to find something late to get all 3 points and avoid penalty kicks. So they'll be looking to get some magic once again in this match this evening. Meanwhile, FC Cincinnati 2 will be thinking, at this point in this series, they've earned at least some points, and they haven't gotten them yet. Can they find them now? Our official for this evening's match is Stefan Perry. It'll be Cincinnati in the blue going left to right. It'll be the road white kits for Revs 2 as we get things rolling here. Once again, we appreciate you tuning in, whether it be on OneFootball, on YouTube, wherever you may be watching from. My name is Mark Schoenster. It's Cincinnati and New England doing battle here from Scudamore Field at NKU Soccer Stadium, just outside of Cincinnati in Highland Heights, Kentucky. FC Cincinnati 2, their last match. Disappointing result for the side. Game they lost 3-1 on the road against Toronto. Sammy Castellanos, the man in charge of this second team, he was disappointed with how they performed against the ball and how they gave up the goals. You can see it on throw-ins and transition on your own set piece, just moments that you really feel like you can manage better. They had more possession, especially in the first half, created some good chances, but didn't put them away. As Revs 2 try to find an early strike. This spills out to Makai Wells. Wells. Cutting pass, and it'll glance off of the goalkeeper, Fabian Morauzek. And it'll be an early corner kick for the visitors. Kai Wells back in the starting lineup, getting the look once again. The academy player, his 9th appearance of the season, his 8th start, so usually when he plays, he's in from the whistle. They'll play it short. Another service curling in, nodded straight up in the air, not out of danger. Now more properly dealt with. Stefan Chirilla playing up the field, and it looks to be carried along to Niang. Shewoo Niang, the big striker, cutting it across. No one's there for Cincinnati. It's cleared away. Now a shot deflected away. Took an awkward glance. No one's there to settle it for the home side, so Revs 2 will heave a sigh of relief. It was a dangerous prospect going forward for Cincinnati. Nothing to become of it. It's those kind of moments that Sammy Castellanos is talking about, needing to capitalize on. They're getting these dangerous final third entries. In the last match, a lot of them through Charlie Holmes. They create the picture, but then they don't have that finishing touch. And once again, the finishing touch lacking there. When that happens and you don't put it away, you're going to learn some hard lessons as a young player, and that was the case in that Toronto game. Morgan will chase this one down. He's able to keep it in play to Wells. Makai Wells finds someone inside, it's Zambrano. He'll appeal for a handball, he's not gonna get it. New England thinking they had a chance to go to the spot, but it won't be acquiesced. Zambrano stonewalled there. Already some early action here. Scudamore Field. Darlene plays it in the middle to Chris Mbayasem. Service takes a skip. And it took a piece of Miles Morgan, but wasn't quite able to do anything with it. And Cincinnati, too, got to be careful here, passing out the back. New England Revolution, too, were awful opportunistic in their game on Thursday, especially their third goal from Matthew Jean-Baptiste. A match in which they scored 3 times in the final 10 or so minutes of the first half, and that was all she wrote. 3-0 was your final score in that game. A match being played at Gillette Stadium, or Boston Stadium, as some may become familiar with it during the World Cup. It was an early kickoff that day. Pablo Moreira, the man in charge of Revs 2, also mentioned it was hot. They knew that turnaround was coming, so they dialed back the tempo a little bit and went with this 3-back system going into that game. Matched up against the 4-4-2 that NYCFC2 were throwing at them, and when they got a center back free going forward, they were able to engage with the winger and create some problems. So keep an eye on those 3 center backs for Revs 2 today, especially the 2 on the outside, Jake Shannon and Gabe Darlene. If they get free and venture forward, cause some problems for Cincinnati 2 as that shot lopped over top. Took a deflection, so go for a corner kick.
FC Cincinnati 2 corner kick, number 57, Leo Orhiranado.
Set piece opportunity for the home side. Nicely headed out of harm's way. And then this will bounce in. Is mishandled. J.D. Gunn couldn't quite grab it. Took a bounce on the turf, and he wasn't ready for it. So a little gift-wrapped corner kick here. The first teaming goalkeeper, J.D. Gunn. We're hoping that this error will go unpunished. The service will be provided from Leo Orhiranado. And it appears for now, Gunn can heave a sigh of relief. Another floating effort though, knotted up, and Zambrano will boot it away. That throw going to be retaken according to the instruction of Stefan Perry. FC Cincinnati 2 trying to start this game on a better foot than they have the previous few. Conceding early goals in their last 3 fixtures. It was the 11th minute in the last match against Toronto. As we take a look at this collision here. Going down is Chris Mbayasem. 11th minute they conceded against Toronto, 16th minute against Orlando City B, and then 20th minute against Red Bull New York 2. Try to be avoiding that similar fate here against New England Revolution 2 as this goes out for a corner kick. But it's something that can be difficult to establish as a group, especially in MLS Next Pro, just with the constant change in lineups. You don't really have that continuity. Corner kick service. Dipping down nicely, headed off the turf and ends up skipping wide. But it's a situation that teams across MLS Next Pro, at least the majority of the teams, the ones that are all second teams for MLS sides, you have that situation where you have first team players who train with the first team throughout the week and then maybe drop in the day before a Next Pro match to train with the second group and have to be caught up on what the approach and the game plan is for an incoming match. And that's going to be a yellow card, surely. Tactical foul there from Dahlin. And he will go into the books. The first yellow of the match. Dahlin's 4th of the season. Very deliberately preventing Fletcher from breaking free. They're caught behind and a business decision was made. One you can't fully blame him for making, but it is early on in the match to be suffering a yellow. That's settled down nicely. Good work there from Charlie Holmes to reel in that pass and trying to play into a dangerous spot. He's a guy that they've been looking to get activated as of late. Chirilla, the outside of his boot, deflects out to Orhiranado. This effort will deflect out, and yet another corner kick will be awarded. That shot by Andre Chirilla, both him and Stefan out on the pitch here this evening. Teenage siblings getting the chance to play with each other here at the MLS Next Pro level. In-swinger trying to fly in with Shea-Woo Niang. Here's Stefan Chirilla trying to find the edge. It spills by the keeper. FC Cincinnati 2 are on the board. Stefan Chirilla puts his team in front. And this time, it's Cincinnati, the side getting on the front foot. Hard to track the ball from that location if you're J.D. Gunn, the goalkeeper. So many bodies between you and the striker there. May not have been able to see it until it got through that cluster of players, and at that point, you're reacting awfully late to try to lunge for a ball placed in the bottom left corner. And so, Chirilla picks up his 6th goal of the season in league play, putting FC Cincinnati 2 in the driver's seat in this match. They're looking to get their first win in the series this season. 2 close call losses earlier on in the year. Can Revs 2 find a response? Ball skipping in, and Morozek able to fall on top of it. I'll mention some of the drawbacks of having first-teamers drop down and play with your team in Next Pro. But there's obviously, and you could argue, more positives than negatives when that occurs, because, I mean, you're getting first-team MLS quality players playing with you, and it brings a level of quality and talent. Moments like that from Stefan Chirilla, one of those first-teamers that could step in and just have a moment where they execute. And that's exactly what he did. Going to be a first assist for Noah Gassan as well. As Revs 2 try to break through here, and they do! Was it a shot? Was it a cross? What it really is a goal. Gabe Dahlin with his first of the season. There's a center back venturing forward. Had bodies crashing to the back post, hoping to be on the receiving end of that. But there was no need for such reception. It hits the side netting. And on a moment's notice, it is tied once again. Just 3 minutes after Cincinnati took the lead, New England have a response. So now we're back on even terms, and both teams have already felt a bit of emotional whiplash. Gabe Dahlin getting onto the score sheet here. A guy who has donned the captain's armband at times this season for Pablo Moreira. Something that he has accepted with a lot of pride. And could he be hunting for something more here? That one falls down to Wells. Maybe wasn't expecting it to get all the way to him. Zambrano rolls it forward. Wells across to Dahlin. It's over his head. Mentioned that he's donned the captain's armband at times this season. He is wearing it as well today. Both captains have scored in this match, actually. Chirilla and Dahlin. So the leaders being at the front of the charge here for their two sides. How about this effort from Zambrano? Tripped up in the box, and a penalty is awarded. Carlos Zambrano with some nifty moves in the penalty area. Eventually gets him knocked over. Just catching some contact from Steven Jimenez there. After FC Cincinnati 2 took the lead in the 12th minute, it could be under 6 minutes later that they're trailing should this be converted. Zambrano, the one who's tripped up, and he's the one who will take this pen. He scored on Thursday. It was a banger of a free kick. This one from a little bit closer than that one was. And many fewer obstructions. He takes a deep breath, one-on-one with Morozek. And Zambrano misses! We stay on level terms. He just dragged it wide. Oh my goodness. He did all the hard work. Doing the fancy footwork in the penalty area, drawing the contact. Then he scored from a free kick from much further away just on Thursday. But it's just that mental game of penalty kicks that it could be so easy in concept, but once you get up there and you're standing at that plate, those mind games start to sink in. So it is still 1-1 here. Chirilla with the curling effort was looking for Niang. How about that work there from Miles Morgan? All launched over to the right-hand side. Matthew Jean-Baptiste driving in against Chirilla. And Andre Chirilla, well, for a moment he had the better of the situation, but it ended up requiring some backup. Fans, this portion of the match is brought to you by First Financial Bank, official bank of FC Cincinnati. So a game that's already been rife full of drama in a series that's been pretty dramatic in its previous two iterations this season. Living up to the billing once again. One of the missions going into this game and just in the season in general for Pablo Moreira in New England Revolution 2, he was telling me his side hasn't had a full 90-minute performance yet. Morgan couldn't quite get to the end of that one. When talking about that NYCFC 2 match on Thursday, they scored 3 goals in a 10-minute window, and he felt that that window could have been expanded longer during that first half of time. Thought they could have made them vulnerable for more of that first half. But he was very complimentary of how they played in the second half. He called it a mature performance, seeing out the 3-0 lead, not conceding anything. Getting a clean sheet in MLS Next Pro, a difficult prospect. I'll be looking to take the lead here. You mentioned after the success of that match on Thursday that they'd be looking and watching in the video room, trying to replicate that window again here in this match and for a longer period of time. They certainly had some dangerous moments and really, by all rights, should be ahead in this game. Of course, how well you play and what the scoreline reflects aren't always the same thing in this sport. And that's kind of something that FC Cincinnati, too, is trying to come to grips with understanding. A lot of young players on this roster. Sammy Castellanos telling me about how pleased he's been with many aspects of the games that they've been playing as of late, but it's harder for the players to understand that when you're walking out of a match with a loss. In particular, when it comes to preparing for this game, he mentioned that they're not really going to change too much their approach to how they attack this Revs 2 team from their previous two matches because those previous two games were so competitive. Took late goals in each of them for Revs 2 to win. And according to Sammy Castellanos, after both games, Pablo Moreira shook his hand and pretty much admitted, look, I don't know how we actually got away with that one. That says a lot. Mentioned, look, we got to just keep creating how we train and then finishing those moments. You make those pictures and now you want your guys to feel that success. And once you get winning results on top of playing the way that you're training, then that really changes the mood. And you have a much better understanding of what your organization and what your coaches are looking for. Zambrano missed a penalty kick a couple minutes ago. Will now look to see if he can help one of his teammates get on the score sheet here. That one left something to be desired. Meanwhile, on the flip side of things, Pablo Moreira, when talking about preparing for this match, he was very emphatic, and he was going to be hammering home the challenge that this game would provide for his team. FC Cincinnati 2 trotting out 6 first-teamers today, and that was something that Moreira was expecting a bit. Felt like there would be a lot of options from the first team to choose from. So with that in mind, he said, look, I mean, you have to ignore where they are in the standings. If you're fielding a strong team, you're fielding a strong team. It doesn't matter what your record says. So he was saying that our guys have to take them for who they are and not where their record is. Already seen some of that quality shine through for FC Cincinnati 2 in this match. So if they weren't taking it seriously going in, surely they're taking it more seriously now. Of course, if that was true, that would mean some advice from the coaching staff not being taken by the players, so you hope that's not the case. J.D. Gunn down the field to Wells. And that's going to be a whistle, a foul committed on the play by Noah Gassan. We take it quickly. This portion of the match is brought to you by Mercy Health, official healthcare provider of FC Cincinnati. New England Revolution 2. Ever since conceding, have been the side that have been poking and prodding, having already scored 1 goal and earned a penalty kick on top of that. And now have gotten themselves another corner kick. Service dipping down, claimed by Morozek. 6'4" goalkeeper from Poland, able to catch that one with sure hands. Fletcher on the ball, just poking it back to his teammate Christian Fletcher, his 4th start and appearance for the 2nd team this season. Tore his ACL a year ago. Had his professional return against New England Revolution 2 just earlier this season. So already seeing teams for a 2nd time in his road to match fitness, something that they're still working on. One thing that he has had, if he's not at 100%, is a great attitude, according to Sammy Castellanos, a player who has played at a high level in the past, Christian Fletcher. But just still working off the rust, which is not too surprising after so many months away from the game, rehabbing and just trying to get back to a place where you can compete again. But even once you're physically stable and back in place, you still have to also overcome the psyche element. Because can you imagine suffering an injury, knowing you're going to stop playing the game you love for months on end? Then you get back, and every time you take a hit, you're just worried that something else could be your undoing once again. Zambrano. Diving header claimed by the goalkeeper. More of a lunging header at the end of the day, but either way, Miles Morgan threatening the keeper, but it wasn't dangerous enough. Niang. He's big and strong, trying to shrug off him by Assem. He could be described the exact same way. Going to be a foul just outside the penalty area. Shewoo Niang taken down by Assem. And he'll be given a yellow card. So that's 2 of the 3 center backs for Revs 2, who are now on a caution. His 5th yellow card of the season, Chris Mbayasem. Can the home side do something with this set piece situation? Two big dudes going at it there. Shewoo Niang, 6'6", Chris Mbayasem, 6'4". Both guys who have been able to impose their physicality on your average size soccer player, but neither of them are that, so turns into a pretty entertaining to watch battle. It's played short. How about that shifty move? Trying to recreate the first goal, Orejorena. That one couldn't make it through the woods of players. Now it's Lachar. Ayub Lachar swinging it in for Niang. This is tracked down to the corner. It's a tight space, and a corner kick will be won. This portion of the match is brought to you by Allegiant, official airline partner of FC Cincinnati. It actually didn't go out for a corner kick. It came along the touchline, so it'll just be a throw-in. Charlie Holmes will be on the throw. Back it goes out to Holmes. Talking about Christian Fletcher and sort of that return journey he's been on. At times he's looked good, at times he's looked a bit tentative as he's working back that confidence. But they know that the first team is going to need him here in August as the schedule gets busier with Leagues Cup being added into the mix. Miles Morgan on the right-hand side. Will send it forward, and it's chopped up in the air just in time. Here's a venture forward now for Andre Chirilla. He has it taken away. Morgan is able to play it out wide. What can they create here, New England? They've got numbers in the box. Oliveira back out to Darlene. Here's the cross. And no one can get on the end of it. It'll bounce out to the left channel, having gone untouched. Jean-Baptiste playing to Zambrano, and a splitting save from Rozek. Kicks that one out, for corner. Matthew Jean-Baptiste trying to give Zambrano a chance to get onto the score sheet. Jean-Baptiste, 16 years old, has scored in the last 2 games. The academy kid who hasn't even spent a whole year in the Revolution system, having joined in January, and now already not only playing and starting for New England Revs 2, but also, like I just mentioned, scoring in back-to-back games. Celebrating in style, by the way, when he does so. But Kai Wells having a hit there. Had the chance to chat with Matthew Jean-Baptiste earlier this week, and he was telling me he didn't think it would change so quickly, but he had goals coming in, and he was vowing to play as hard as he could in any match he could get into. Certainly a kid that's built to compete at this level, already 6 feet tall, and has got that physical element already to his game that enables him to compete with fully grown pros. Long ball to Chirilla. Well, the ball was just a little bit too long. J.D. Gunn able to get there. Ten more minutes plus stoppage time to go here in this one. The scoreline 1-1. From the 10th minute to the 20th minute, things were awfully frantic, and outside of that window, things have been pretty enticing nonetheless. But 2 goals in that period of time between the 10th and 20th, and also a missed penalty kick. So that is where the peak drama has occurred. Hopeful ball played forward. A sliding challenge will knock that one out for a corner kick. Quite a handful of corners in this match between the two sides. From the right corner flag. Service looks good. They'll have another go at it. Lift it in, takes a bounce. And now it's cleared away after a couple of touches for FC Cincinnati 2. New England will once again try to keep the pressure applied here. Back three of Chris Mbayasem, Jake Shannon, and Gabe Darlene. All sent over to the right-hand side. Chested down. Something be made of this moment. Ball still in play. A lot of bumping. Here's Zambrano at the top of the 18. He just couldn't quite keep a hold of it. Eric Klein keeping the ball alive there for a hot minute inside the penalty area. Ball ends up going to the top of the 18 to Zambrano, whom you like from that spot, but just on this occasion, wasn't meant to be. There's Shannon. Darlene rolls it to the right. How about that move from Oliveira? Played in the middle. Jean-Baptiste looking for Zambrano. Cleared away once again by that FC Cincinnati 2 back line, anchored by Gasson and LJ Bourne, the center backs. LJ Bourne, the 11th player to make an academy debut this season with the second team. Cincinnati kid. Something that Sammy Castellanos wants to see more and more of as the years go by. One of the ways they could do that is with just giving more players or just more kids in Cincinnati the chance to fall in love with the sport. They've been building mini pitches around the community, FC Cincinnati, and they recently opened their 13th. Talking to Sammy Castellanos about that, he said that, look, Cincy has a knack for producing high-level athletes, and yet they have to go out on market to assemble this roster. Why does that have to be the case? You see the gear everywhere around town. Anytime he's out and about, car stickers. It's Chirilla running his way in. Stefan Chirilla still going, cuts it across the middle. It glances off of Darlene. Christian Fletcher was just a step behind. A bit hampered there. Chris Mbayasem trying to do anything to impede the progress. Chirilla bemoaning the fact that no one could get on the receiving end of his service. And as I've gotten the chance to say a lot throughout this game, the scoreline stays 1-1. Both teams having had some loud chances since we've reached this scoreline. But nothing becoming of these occasions. As now Chris Mbayasem is getting tended to. He grabbed his right leg as he was trying to track down Chirilla. So far, Chirilla and Darlene, the only two to have scored in this game, the ones donning the armbands. Perhaps that's just what you've got to do at this point in this game, just pass that armband around or keep finding those guys to try and score because they're the only ones who seem to be able to find the back of the net. Grissom Bayasem still down on the ground. Second-year player with this team from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Spent his whole career in France prior to joining the Rev system. Having spent some time in the French 5th tier with Racing Strasbourg B. So he's helped back up. Now the question will be, is he going to walk it off and get waved back onto the game, or are they going to need to make a first-half substitution? Worth noting, Grissom Bayasem, not one of the players that played on Thursday or started on Thursday. It had to muscle through this match as well. He was rotated into the starting lineup for today's bout. I didn't play at all in that match. And it will be a change, and someone who did start in that game, Joe Buck, is preparing to sub into the game. Here's the corner kick. Andre Chirilla trying to get on the back post and knock it in. And that substitution has been executed, so Joe Buck is into the game for Grissom Bayasem. Buck, along with Shannon and Darlene, were the starters along the back three in that game against NYCFC 2. So they'll be comfortable with how the other ones operate. Another corner kick served up, and it'll be another corner kick ensuing. Leo Oreharena will have another crack at it. We'll be trying to get a little more air underneath this one. Once again, it's low. We'll stay with the home team, but not in a dangerous way. Will go up, and while the ball is rising, the player Charlie Holmes goes to the ground. Luckily, he's already jogging once again. Darlene plays it out wide. There's Darlene once again. Service into the middle. Ping delay. As you can see at the top left corner, 4 minutes have been added on to this first half of action. A first half that has been chock full of things to chew on. I've had a bit of a lot of things in this game. A couple of bookings, a couple of goals, a penalty kick. Already had a substitution. Some other very loud moments. Revs 2 trying to find one of those here. Ball lifted up into the air. Fletcher takes a tumble. And this ball rolls over to the corner. Couldn't be kept in by Gasson. I was mentioning earlier about those mini pitches and just trying to get some more of the youth in Cincinnati playing the sport and perhaps falling in love with it. Of course, course, there's just the general positive of that being the case, having more ways and outlets for kids to be exploring the sport, but also it'll give you more opportunities to find guys like Camden Speyer and LJ Bourne. I want that to be a normal thing that's just constantly occurring. Camden Speyer has played a lot this season on the bench today, and LJ Bourne hasn't quite played a ton, but getting the start here in this one right now are the exception. But the objective is for them to be the more common occurrence than anything else. But that just takes time. Darlene rolls it into the middle. No one could receive it for New England. Morozek with some pressure coming, able to release it. Here's Logan Azar. All over the top, looking for Jean-Baptiste and Azar, who are both in a similar vicinity. Now Chirilla up to Niang. He'll turn and try to go forward. Good defending from Buck. Zambrano feeds it into the middle. Azar carries over to the right side. This is Eric Klein. His 5th start this season with the second team. He has it once more. Shannon sends it to the right. Darlene didn't get that one clean. Just over 30 seconds left to go here in the first half. And unless we get a bit of a buzzer-beating situation, it's going to be going into the break on even terms. Both sides will feel that they've left the lead on the table to be taken. Both with some good chances, just not to be converted. There is the whistle from Stefan Perry. 1-1 between FC Cincinnati 2 and New England Revolution 2. The first 2 games went all the way down the wire, and this one looks like it's en route for something very similar. Once again, 1-1 is your scoreline. We got halftime coming up next in our show. We get you set for MLS All-Star Week, including the return of Goalie Wars, plus our first half highlights when we return. We'll be back after this.
Yeah, boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still sticking ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of
MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it! Welcome back. Your scoreline here from Highland Heights is 1-1 between Cincinnati and New England. Next Pro alum and New York Red Bull Jeremy Hall has been named to the MLS All-Star team next week in Charlotte. Let's look back at our visit with this rising star.
Julian Hall, remember the name. It's that man again, Julian Hall. Goal, it goes in. Mehmeti, has he broken through here? Mehmeti across, Hall. Swinging ball towards the back post, it goes. Opening goal for Red Bull New York, Julian Zakshevsky Hall.
Born in Manhattan, New York, Julian Hall found the game the same way a lot of kids in this city do.
I first kind of started playing soccer when I was around 4 years old. I would play a lot wherever I could, if it was a field near my apartment or wherever I could, basically. And I just remember, falling in love with the game and wanting to play as much as I can. There's a main place I would play. It's pretty popular in Manhattan. It's called Pier 40, and a lot of people go there. That's where I played with Manhattan Kickers. It's kind of where I really started to realize I really wanted to play soccer seriously and maybe make it professionally.
That love for the game turned into an opportunity, a move into one of the top academies in the country.
Julian came into our system at U14. I think he played about 3 or 4 games with the U14s. I was a U15 coach at the time, so I was observing those games, and you could see straight away he was a special talent. So he quickly got moved up an age group to play with the U15s that season. Made an instant impact with the older age groups.
The level changed quickly, and so did the expectations.
I was very excited to come in and show my ability, and I was playing with my age and I was playing a year up, and the intensity was a different level, I would say, from what I've ever played at that point in my life. So yeah, no, it's an amazing experience.
Chimueno scored off the bench against Seattle, and Julian Hall with the breakthrough. The Golden Boot leader rises to the occasion, and we've got an electric finish here in the U15 final.
He's one of those players that can get you up off your feet. Like, he's direct, he can take players on, he can score goals from inside the box, outside the box in really different ways. And, it would always amaze you how he would find goals in the game.
The next step brought a new set of challenges.
That was the biggest jump for me, going from academy to professional football. The intensity, the physicality, the football, it was all quicker than anything I had experienced before. And, I just thought I did a good job of staying level-headed and not being discouraged about little things.
Working to the midfield, now Gonzalez entering the box, across and a goal! Julian Hall puts the Red Bulls 2 on the board.
I was lucky to be coached by Ibrahim Sakaya, and Bradley Wright Phillips was there a lot of the time as well. They did a good job of helping me progress and helping me not get discouraged and keep going every single day and working hard. The coaching staff really mended me very well.
Like, he's always striving to try and get better at something within games and training. And then, why he adapts well, he's a natural goal scorer.
For Julian, it was about staying level and keeping the work the same.
When you go to a professional environment, if you're doing the most amount of work and you're clearly working harder than everyone else, it stands out to a lot of people, and that can be something that separates you from everyone else. If you're a hard worker, that could get you to a lot of places, and I think that's just something that established me when I first came into the first team.
That work and mentality has paid off with the fast start this season.
We're really happy with the way that he's moving himself forward. He has taken the ideas and has really shown that he is picking things up. Obviously, there's the attacking part, his ability to find chances, his ability to take balls on the move, to dribble, to go by guys, run in the box. The part that goes with it is how much work he does for us against the wall, how much pressing, how much sprinting, how much chasing, how much work he does to really make the game difficult on the other team. And so we're really, really happy with the progress that he's made. We're going to continue to push him.
As he continues to grow, so does the chemistry with his teammates around him.
I've known Julian for a very long time now. I see the way he works in training. I'm getting to know him more and more, obviously, as we play together on and off the field. And then when I step onto the field, I know where he's going to be on the field, what his positioning is like, where he wants the ball, left foot, right foot. And we're kind of growing that connection, which has been going in a really good way, and hopefully, to grow that connection even more.
Mehmeti, has he broken through here? Mehmeti across, Hall! 2-0!
I think it's just the trust with the coaching staff. Coach Michael, he's done a great job with us during preseason and putting trust in me to start the first couple games. It's a lot of credit to him for putting his belief in me. Obviously, I have to go out there and perform to the best of my ability, and thankfully, I've got a couple goals so far. The goal is to keep progressing throughout the season.
Talent and work ethic have helped Julian's dreams come true faster than even he could have predicted.
I've always dreamt of becoming a professional soccer player, but I never really expected it to happen so fast, to be honest. Earlier that year, I was still just playing academy, and I was progressing well, but I never thought it would lead to signing a contract later that year. So it's kind of a lesson there just to be ready for anything, and anything can happen very, very quickly. You really just have to put your all into whatever you're doing, and things can happen. I think a big thing is just self-belief, because when I was playing in MLS Next, I was signing a contract later that season. I had no idea. I did not have a plan on signing that year. That was not in my plan at all. I think things like that can come from just you doing as much as you can, and things will just happen by itself, as long as you're working hard and giving 100% every single day, good things will happen. And thankfully things came to me that year, and you got to be grateful, and you got to use it as much as you can to your abilities.
Ortiz is onto it, cutting, denied by Cruz. And an amazing save by Pedro Cruz. And Pedro Cruz with a third save.
A lot of pressure on the ball. Ending hit, what a save!
Saved by Cruz. Pierce cross in front. Reflex save by Cruz.
Decent ball in, great save again. My goodness, worldly stop from Pedro Cruz.
Marker John for the equalizer, stop. And saved by Mackey. McGrath stopped by Will Mackey.
Now sends one in. Oh, Mackey! How did he do it?
Sliding it across. Will Mackey standing on his head.
And he stopped.
It's another great save from Mackey.
Will Mackey said no.
Huntsville's Will Mackey and Houston's Pedro Cruz will be there. Will you? Goalie Wars, presented by Old Spice, returns as part of the All-Star Skills Challenge, presented by AT&T on July 28th. And we must mention that multiple MLS Next Pro alums will be on hand to take the field in the 2026 MLS All-Star Game, presented by Chime on July 29th from Charlotte. Still halftime here at Scudamore Field at NKU Soccer Stadium, where the scoreline is 1-1 between Cincinnati and New England Revolution 2. Mark Schoenster with you here on the broadcast as we are still holding off from the second half kick. You can see the clock ticking away there on the opposite side of the stadium. This being a busy week, as always, in MLS Next Pro, and this is what's coming up next weekend. A lot of games lined up. These two teams won't play till Sunday, so here are some things to sort of whet your appetite going into that match. 9 games to go for these two teams playing in this match after this one concludes, so you can count on 2 hands how many games you have left, and then, it's each game, your ability to move up and down the table gets more and more minimized, so gotta make them count, whether you are competing in the East or the West. Of course, these two teams in the Eastern Conference, as we now pivot over to the halftime highlights. Boy, were there a lot of moments in that first half that we could sink our teeth into. So we'll have to pick and choose carefully. There we go. Starting off with the goal, though. This is Stefan Chirilla through the woods. That ball doesn't make any deflections. Steady, of course. Hard for J.D. Gunn to track. And then we get the goal on the other side. Just moments later, see here, Gabe Dahlin. Was he trying to shoot there? Was he trying to cross? I'm sure he'll argue that he was shooting 100% of the time. And then the penalty kick from Zambrano. Scored from a free kick. Couldn't put this one away. So it stays 1-1. Both teams would have chances to send this one over the line, but couldn't get it done. Will they in the second half? We'll see on the other side of this break.
Boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still sticking ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it! Second half impending here from Highland Heights, Kentucky, just outside of Cincinnati, where FC Cincinnati 2 are hosts to New England Revolution 2. Welcome one and all to the broadcast. My name is Mark Schoenstert. A lot of action in that first half. We'll see if the second half follows suit in that regard. Surely both teams will be trying to go for all 3 points. As it stands right now, we'd be going to penalty kicks to decide the bonus point after the other team, or each team, claims 2 points for themselves, or a point for themselves, with the extra one on the line. There will be 2 changes for FC Cincinnati 2 as we prepare for the second half to start. Once we get confirmation on those, we will let you know. As it stands, 1-1. We will have those 2 changes now. So, Camden Spire will be subbing on for Leo Oihorena. Daver Mosquera will return back to the pitch in place of Noah Gassan as we get back into running here from Scudamore Field. One of these teams claim all 3 points here. Got 45 minutes to do so. Both sides demonstrating the ability to take the lead, but haven't been able to actually strike the iron correctly and get that second goal onto the scoreboard. It was about 3 minutes that FC Cincinnati 2 had the lead in this game, only for New England Revolution 2 to level it back up. Here's Logan Azar. Could he step into a shot? Oh, it's a heavy touch. Just too heavy, but still in the box here as some dangerous dribbling doesn't end up resulting in anything harmful for FC Cincinnati 2. Mark Schoenster with you here on comms, on OneFootball, and on YouTube. Wherever you may be tuning in, we hope you're having a good weekend. Third meeting this season between these two sides, both of which were decided by late game winners for New England Revolution 2. And they are the side currently whom are doing well in league play, in 4th place in the Eastern Conference. Meanwhile, FC Cincinnati 2, second to last, and right now are just trying to find some results. Not just because I'd love to put themselves more so in the conversation for the playoffs, but just want to see some reward for the hard effort and the work that they've been putting in and week out. Not getting that positive reinforcement at the moment. On the ball right now, Makai Wells swerving through. He feeds Miles Morgan. Well, digging deep at times. A guy who's so flexible in his positioning, though, is the designated number 9 for the team coming into this match. But as the game goes along, the sport is fluid, and where your allocated space and what the players on your team are shifting around you are doing. You know, try and fill in the blanks if you're one of those players with a high IQ. Fletcher trying to clear that one away, and he'll stay with New England. There's Eric Klein. Rolling it up ahead for Oliveira. And it's one back by Camden Spire. Might be getting our first booking here in the second half after we had a couple in the first half. Players down for Revs 2. They already had to make a substitution. Joe Buck having to come in for Chris Mbayasem in the first half of action, as we do see the yellow card given to Steven Jimenez, his second of the season. And that's another member of that back three who's hurt, Gabe Darlene, the goal scorer. Darlene still down. The Swedish defender still ailing here. Go and look at the bench here to see who could potentially come in. Josh Macedo is there as another defending option, or perhaps you have to shake up the shape a little bit. A team that, I mean, you have the ability to go to a 4-back, which would mean you just need 2 center backs out there. Right now in that 3-back system, you have Joe Buck, Jake Shannon, and Gabe Darlene. Been a tight turnaround for Pablo Moreira's group, having played on Thursday morning. And having to turn around and also hit the road. Having played at Gillette Stadium against NYCFC 2, and then of course having this match here that we're currently in. Gabe Darlene, one of the players that started in now both of these games. Looks like he's going to soldier on here, but will do so ailing a little bit. Back up on his feet now, though, Gabe Darlene, and he will allow Carlos Zambrano to take this free kick a good distance away from goal. Could be a situation where you just tap it back to a teammate and you enjoy possession. And that is the case. Talking about playing at Gillette Stadium. First time this season. In years past, that's where Revs 2 will play their matches, but given the World Cup this year, they found themselves a temporary home at Bryant to play most of their games this season. But now that the World Cup is over, they'll have that opportunity to play at Gillette. A handful of the players had the chance to do it last year, but still first time for some of the other guys on the team. Had a chance to train on it, to get used to it, and Pablo Moreira saying, I mean, look, that stadium is our home. The new turf feels good as well, and had a great environment with a lot of summer camp kids there to support them. You also get the front office and some first teamers there watching. Really puts you on a platform to really showcase what you can do. They scored 3 times in 10 minutes. Also demonstrated some acrobatics in the process and the celebrations. So really put on a show for the fans there at Gillette. Service parried away by Chirilla. Matthew Jean-Baptiste, who scored in that game, trying to give his teammates something to get on the receiving end of. And it'll be a corner kick for Revs 2. That one falls down, still in the woodwork. And it ends up sailing over somehow. The touch sailing over the crossbar right in front of goal. Glances back into the 6. Matthew Jean-Baptiste got a touch, but it was a touch that lifted the ball up. And now the home side will try to knock on the door the other direction. Opening stanza of this second half, it's been Revs 2 trying to claim lead for the first time in the match. Jimenez rolling this one back to Lachar. Now Spire. Goal scorer for Cincinnati, Chirilla, gives it back to Spire. Mosquera subbing into the match, finds Fletcher. Christian Fletcher trying to get onto the score sheet for the first time. Was unable to do so there. Combining with David Mosquera, a player who's starting to feel the acclamation. Sammy Castellanos, the man in charge of this FC Cincinnati 2 team, mentioning that seems like he's starting to turn a corner. Takes a while to get comfortable in a new place, especially as David Mosquera, coming from Colombia, doesn't speak English when he came here, and so having to learn that on the fly and learn how to eat a different diet, just an entirely different cuisine between Colombia and Cincinnati. And then also, of course, as a player. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ball & Gainer, official wealth management partner of FC Cincinnati. Ball slipping through. Could be another dangerous moment for Rebs 2. Ball sent out wide. Kai Wells, the academy kid, jostling with Mosquera, and he gets the better of the interaction. Player that's been more of a winger through his time playing up to this point, Mosquera, but I really like what he could bring as a wing back at the MLS level. He's got the pace for it. It's been given away. Here's a shot, and it's a goal. New England Revolution 2 take the lead, and it's Carlos Zambrano. This time he gets on the score sheet. Just hounding on that pass. And then once he had it, he wasn't going to give it up. 5th goal of the season for Zambrano. And New England Revolution 2, after pushing pretty incessantly to start off this second half, they have found the lead. Perhaps 40 minutes later, after they felt they should have had it, and it's due to the same man, Carlos Zambrano, rectifying his early error, notching in another goal. Oliveira has that one knocked away. Zambrano from Venezuela, then came over to Miami, Florida, then made his way all the way up to Vermont and Syracuse before now landing here in New England. So had quite the journey, the young 21-year-old. He has displayed his quality this season. Now 5 goals, 3 assists. Here he is on the ball once again, Zambrano. Play it back to Darlene, the 2 goal scorers connecting here. Miles Morgan can't get to that one. And it'll bounce to Morozek. There's some pressure once again from the restart. Causing some problems, Rebs 2, and they have it again. Here's the effort, skipping just past the post. Seems like they smell blood in the water because New England Revolution 2 are continuing to hunt. Miles Morgan with the strike that time. As far as guys on the pitch currently, he's the only one that you could say is more dangerous than Zambrano. 7 goals this season for Morgan. And they're going to continue to find and search for a third. Play still alive. Wells. He has it once again, Makai Wells. Azar rotated to Darlene. Threading it down the middle. And a foul and free kick awarded. Eric Klein, the one drawing the foul. That'll be another dangerous set-piece opportunity here for New England. Zambrano, the recent goal scorer. Not shocking that he is once again the architect on the dead ball. Scored from a good distance in the game against NYCFC too. Straight from the free kick. Drags it across the middle. Could be a chance for Morgan. It appears it wouldn't have counted had it gone in. Let's take a look. There's a foul right between Morgan and the goalkeeper as Steven Jimenez was dragged down by Eric Klein, preventing him from closing off Morgan there. So we stay at 2-1, regardless of if that ball had found its way to the back of the net. That's Cristiano Oliveira. And almost entirely one-way traffic here in the second half. Zambrano with the cross. Can Wells keep this in bounds? Not quite. Close. And it'll be quickly retaken as a throw-in. Hopeful ball over the top. Rushing for it's Mosquera. Good reading of the play by J.D. Gunn. Had he not gotten there, he would have been in a really bad spot. 1v1 with the pacey Colombian. Foul here as we're going to get a substitution. Cincinnati going to make another change. Nathan Gray is going to come on for Shea Wu Niang. So the 6'6" Senegalese forward will trot off, and in comes Gray. Not quite as tall, 5'7". Hailing from Grayson, Georgia. Getting his 7th appearance of the season as we get things going once again here. This portion of the match is brought to you by Skyline Chili, official partner of FC Cincinnati. Oliveira. Ball played forward for Matthew Jean-Baptiste. Having to fight there. Try to win the ball from Ayub Lashar. Been a bit of an adjustment for Matthew Jean-Baptiste, the academy kid, just 16 years old. His size in the academy was something he certainly could take advantage of, just being bigger and stronger, but talking to him, he mentioned now at the MLS Next Pro level, these guys either match my physicality or are even higher in that level. Mentioned in the NYCFC 2 game on Thursday that there was a guy on that back line that outmuscled him a couple times, which means that he's going to have to rely a little bit more on honing his skills and hold up play, and not just being able to outstrength everybody that he comes up against. In this sport, there's always someone bigger or faster than you for the most part, and it's not always the biggest, the fastest player that's the best player. It's someone who's just got that understanding of the game. He's got that skill set. A little bit of wile to you as well, especially if you're a striker. So that's the adaptation process that he's currently going through, and a lot of these guys are going through, which is why being able to play at this level is so valuable. He's got a nice proven track record for the guys that make it up to the MLS. Already tons of success stories from what is still a really young league. Wells earns this side a corner kick. Long distance effort, skipping towards goal and saved by Moralzek. FC Cincinnati 2 trying to find some life here in the second half after going down. And have done the majority of the suffering here in the second half as far as the run of play. Start the game, 6 first-teamers from Pat Noonan's roster getting a look in this game for the home side. It's been a good dynamic between him and Sammy Castellanos, the second-team head coach. Castellanos describing Pat Noonan as a good person and mentioning that across the MLS, there are some big characters at the head coaching position, and yet Noonan kind of just feels like a normal guy, which is almost more difficult to do. They're able to have good conversations and include other people in it without being exclusive to people and trying to be too heady about it. That can be a really good quality in someone leading the program. It's going to be another free kick for New England Revolution 2 as a boot has been lifted off. But Noonan, a guy that Sammy Castellanos mentioned, understands the hardships of being a second-team coach. But then on the flip side, he communicates that, hey, my job and the second team's job is to be there for the first team in whatever capacity, whether it be getting some guys some minutes, like in this game where you have a ton of first-teamers playing, or anything else under the sun. We're going to get another substitution. Speaking of one of the first-teamers, Steven Jimenez will step out of the game, and Yair Ramos will step in. I'm sure Castellanos will be getting some thoughts texted to him after the game from Pat Noonan, something that's become a regular occurrence throughout this season. Zambrano with the service. Gets back out to him. He'll have another swing. Once again, nodded away. This time it's steered out to the left-hand side. Dahlin, persistent. Still Gabe Dahlin, trying to rip himself to a brace. Couldn't put it on target. Nearly 3-1, and that would really put this one in a good place for the visitors. Zambrano, into the middle it goes. Morgan, still poking for it. Jean-Baptiste. That'll be a foul, and it may be another yellow. The card is in the hand of our head official, Stefan Perry. A promising counterattack prevented. And it will be given to Eric Klein. Little push there, his first yellow card of the season, keeping Nathan Gray from really getting a head full of steam going. This portion of the match is brought to you by Ohio Cat, official partner of FC Cincinnati. Lots of chances here in the second half, particularly for New England Revolution 2. They were able to put one away. They'd love to get another one to ensure this result. All it takes is just one moment for FC Cincinnati 2. And they certainly showed many an occasion in the first half, and they've had maybe one or two here in the second. Rozek will get things going once again for the home team. Been a good year for New England Revolution 2. As it stands right now, they are sitting in third place in the Eastern Conference, just 2 points behind Crown Legacy. Curling ball sent in. And then Dahlin provides the clearance. The season can have different objectives for different teams. And how much does your success in the league factor into your assessment of the season? Pablo Moreira says that both the development of players and success as a team in a season can happen simultaneously. Now, sometimes you have to sacrifice product to let a guy learn and grow on the pitch and maybe make some mistakes, which can result in you not getting the maximized potential result in a game. And he mentioned, as Matthew Jean-Baptiste wrestles the ball for himself. But good recovery there from Ayub Lashar to poke it to his keeper and keep Jean-Baptiste from trying to make it a third game in a row that he scores. But here's the deal. Pablo Moreira said, once it clicks for a player and he really starts succeeding, I want them to move on. He tells the guys, I don't want to see you again. I want you training with the first team. I want you going off and spreading your wings. And he's felt they've really hit on their player profiles this season. And they've done really well at fulfilling that next man up mentality. Cutting service. Joe Buck steers it off target. It'll be a corner kick. $15 more minutes to go. FC Cincinnati 2 starting to turn up the dial. The urgency intensifying as we have got 14 minutes plus stoppage time to go. Once again, a corner kick. Got it out of harm's way. Mosquera. Not really reaching anybody in particular. As the season has gone along for Revs too, they've been able to win games even when they've had quote-unquote weaker squads being trotted out, whether that be academy kids or less experienced members of the next pro roster. Basically, the moniker that Pablo Moreira left me with was that if you're doing it right, you're going to win games. And all of his experience coming into taking this job has been coaching at the MLS level. It's about winning, not about development. And that's why they hired him. He runs it like it's a pro team that's expecting results week in and week out. And I mean, look, obviously you're going to have some developmental edge there, but if you're training to win, then you're going to be developing in that process and learning in your understanding of what it takes to win and how you have to play to win. A lot of it really does go hand in hand. It's just every now and then you got to let a guy get thrown into the fire and learn the hard way, which is certainly something both of these coaches and a lot of teams in Next Pro would agree on. Camden Spire. Tapping this one back to Bourne. So, New England finally readying their first planned substitutions of the game. Of course, Joe Buck had to sub in the first half after the injury to Chris Mbayasem. But they've been old and strong outside of that. They've been, for a majority of the second half, been on the hunt. They found one goal, and they've been searching for a third. But as this clock ticks further and further, they'll be more and more content to just hold the ball and allow Cincinnati to give chase. So the referee going to hold the free kick as we get those changes. 3 substitutions taking place here as Levi Katzel, academy kid, will sub on for Eric Klein, one of the first teamers. On top of that, Sherrod George will sub on for Matthew Jean-Baptiste. And then lastly, Aaron Prajapati will sub on for Carlos Zambrano. Those are the first real thoroughly thought through moments or substitutions in this game for Pablo Moreira. Had to make the Joe Buck call in a split moment, given the injury to Mbayasem. This one drops down, and it's claimed by the goalkeeper. J.D. Gunn flying in. It's been given away. Chirilla shoots and he scores! Tied up at 2 apiece. Stefan Chirilla with the brace. This game delivers once again. How about that pressure flying in there? Yair Ramos forces the mistake, supplies Chirilla, and then he does away with it. Back on even terms, and we are back where this game has been the previous 2 times they've met each other. Up to this point in the game, in the previous 2 matches, it has been tied. New England Revolution 2 has scored late in both of the last fixtures. This shot knocked away. Morozic looking to keep history from repeating itself. Joe Buck with the effort. Two is the tally. Is there more late game heroics in this one? The header sits on the roof of goal. To revisit here for you, these 2 teams have met 2 other times this season. The first one back in March, a game in which Charlie Holmes scored to tie the game in the 86th minute, 1-1, only for an own goal a minute later would be the difference as SC Cincinnati 2 are on the hunt again. That one's cleared away. Daver Mosquera trying to make it happen from the left-hand side. It's a corner kick. So in March, an own goal just a minute after the game was equalized would give Revs 2 the win. And then in June, early June, in the 97th minute, Carlos Zambrano would score to give Revs 2 again all 3 points. That'll go off of Spire last. It'll be a throw-in for New England. And another change in the wings for Sammy Castellanos. Christian Fletcher will sub out. Matias Vasquez will sub in. And on top of that, Shuma Sasaki is going to sub on for Makai Wells. So some new faces hoping to maybe leave an indelible mark on this game. Oliveira. Mosquera had a jab on that one, and that was enough to win the ball back for the home team. Oh, he gets lucky there, bailed out by the foul. Walled off by 2 players, tried to tap back where there was a third New England Revolution 2 player, but instead escapes with the free kick. Chirilla squares it into the middle. Stepping up for the shot there is Ramos. Falls back to him. David Mosquera. Now Ramos lifting it up ahead. Settled down by Chirilla. This is Andre Chirilla to be precise. Service ripping inside. That one had a lot of pace. That's a lovely turn from Logan Azar. As well to read the trajectory of the pursuant. Oliveira trying to roll it in centrally for Morgan. Stefan Chirilla could not get by the defender. Jake Shannon stepping in the way nicely there. David Mosquera dashing forward and commits the foul. Spire pokes it to the left. Ball sprayed over the left-hand side. Once again, Stefan Chirilla trying to feed it ahead to Spire. Wasn't to be. The first game was decided in the 87th minute. The second one in the 97th. Will this one be decided in penalty kicks? Or is there some late game magic? As of now, the latest goal on this one, 81st minute, Stefan Chirilla with his second of the game. Assisted by Yair Ramos, who will have a lot to be attributed to on that play. His pressure, winning the ball for his side, and then he's able to find the man who's been able to score a lot of goals this season. Here's Buck. Rolled up ahead. Ball switched over to the right-hand side for Oliveira. Cristiano Oliveira playing it into the box. It's headed off target. What an opportunity. But once again, empty-handed for New England Revolution 2. Miles Morgan with such a moment. He's the guy you want on the receiving end of that pass. Speaking of guys you like on the ball, Stefan Chirilla jostling for it. Still Chirilla. Stefan Chirilla falls off of his boot. And then a blocked shot glances out for a corner. Matias Vasquez, the one to last touch it for FC Cincinnati 2. Blocked on that play by Prajapati. As we have another corner kick in this game. Once again for the home side. We're going to get 3 more minutes here before this one goes to penalty kicks, unless one of these teams could change the scoreline. Falls in the box. Launched up the pitch. No one there to receive it for New England Revolution 2. Ramos. It glances off of Azar. Who touched it last? Rev says corner. Should the scoreline hold, both teams will get a point, and then an extra point will be on the line via a penalty shootout. Ayub Lashar on the service. Ball swung in. Still in danger. Spire with the cross. Headed towards goal, and it sails over top for Andre Chirilla. His brother with a brace in this game. Hoping to get one for himself. It would be his first this season. All right, now it's the home side, looking more likely to score. But that is swapped back and forth over the last 10 or so minutes. Spire plays it, allowing, of course, teammate to carry it forward. This is Charlie Holmes. Cross, falls down, just beyond the reach of Mosquera. Stefan Chirilla, up top to his brother, Andre Chirilla. He plays it to the right-hand side, knocked away. 40 seconds to go. Each of these games between these two teams this season has been so intense. All three having delivered. Long ball thrown in. Not a convincing clearance, but that one is. LJ Bourne doing well there. Not allowing the pressure to get it to him. The whistle could sound any moment, and it sounds right here. 2-2, your final score in what was an enthralling match between FC Cincinnati 2 and New England Revolution 2. Both sides will get a point, and another point will be up for grabs via a penalty kick shootout. With that in mind, we will briefly step aside. When we come back, we will have that penalty kick shootout for you here on OneFootball and on YouTube.
Boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still sticking ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
Penalty kick shootout incoming here at Scudamore Field at NKU Soccer Stadium. Let's take a look back at the goals that got us to this 2-2 scoreline. Starting with Stefan Chirilla. Chirilla with a shot through the woods. Tough to track for J.D. Gunn. Gives SC Cincinnati 2 the early lead in the match, but it wouldn't last very long. Just a couple minutes later, Gabe Darlene donning the captain's armband as well. It's over top of the keeper, tying this one at 1 apiece. Then in the second half, after a missed penalty just moments after that previous goal, kept it at 1-1. Carlos Zambrana would rectify his missed penalty kick and put that one through. Self-influenced opportunity. And then he would finish it up nicely to give New England Revolution to the lead. And at that point in time, there's a good 20-minute stretch after that it seemed like they were likely to find a third goal and really put this game to bed. And then in comes Yair Ramos, bulldozing through, wins the ball back for his team, finds Chirilla, makes it a brace, brings this game to 2-2, which is how it would end. Both teams get a point, which puts Cincinnati at 15 and New England Revolution 2 at 16, or at 36, excuse me. This will be their 7th penalty kick shootout of the season, New England. They've won half of the ones they've been in so far. This will just be the 2nd for FC Cincinnati 2, a team that's on quite a wicked penalty kick shootout streak. They've won their last 8 in a row, 10 in a row if you're just counting league play. The last time they've lost in a penalty shootout was in the Open Cup, the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup last year in 2025 against New York Pan-Cyprian Freedoms. Since then, they have won 8 straight penalty shootouts, and it's Chirilla, the man with the brace, who will start things off here up against J.D. Gunn. And Chirilla puts his team on the board. Led the way as far as scoring, led the way, donning the captain's armband, and now he leads his team to the front line here in this penalty kick shootout. Leading the way on the other side is Jake Shannon. The center backs today who started on Thursday and was asked to do the quick turnaround and play today as well, and he went the full 90. And he leveled this one. Oh, he just barely does. Morozek dove the right way and just snuck under his arm. So 1 apiece. And now stepping up is Matias Vasquez, one of the substitutes for Sammy Castellanos from Honduras on loan from FC Motagua, which is also where his head coach played when he was a player. Vasquez smashes this one. Utmost confidence, and it pays off. Now we see Aaron Prajapati will go up and take a penalty kick here. 17 years old, committed to play at Harvard. So, a bright kid and also a bright footballer. Knocked away by Morozek. He'll wave him off. And the home side now have an edge. Nathan Gray with the opportunity to give his team a 2-goal lead here, following the save from his keeper. One-on-one with J.D. Gunn. Gray rifles it home. 3 for 3, FC Cincinnati 2. Looking to claim that extra point here. Cristiano Oliveira really needs to put this one through to keep hopes in a good place for New England. Should he miss, everything else would have to go New England's way in order for them to survive in this shootout. Oliveira, saved once again by Morozek. The win condition has been set. One more goal, one more save, or one more miss is all it's going to take for Cincinnati to claim that extra point. Yair Ramos, the man who came crashing in to help his team equalize, could be the man to help his team get another point on top of it. If he converts here, that'll be it. It's going to be a long run up. Ramos gets the job done. And for an 11th straight MLS Next Pro shootout, FC Cincinnati 2 are victorious, claiming the extra point, getting their first points in the series this season against New England Revolution 2. Yair Ramos, well-deserved glory here for that. 2-2 your final score, 4-1 in the penalty kick shootout. He was someone who shined in this game, but he helped our man of the match shine here. And it's Stefan Chirilla from FC Cincinnati 2. Man of the match is presented by Adidas. You see here, he peels out, gives his teammate an outlet, and then he says, I'll take it from here. Just waiting for his moment to strike, gets it done, and on this moment, quickly turns, fires, catches the keeper off guard, rescuing a point there, and then, of course, his team, along with him taking a penalty, would do the rest in the penalty kick shootout. Well, that's where this show is going to end. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Mark Schoenstert. Once again, our final score is 2-2 with a penalty kick shootout win for FC Cincinnati 2. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com and OneFootball. Have a good night, everybody.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.